There we go. Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another live look behind the scenes here at the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. My name is Mike Avery, um, also known as Mike Avery Outdoors, by the way. Glad to have you along with us. This is something I do every Wednesday morning from the studio. I'm here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I'll tell you here coming up in a little bit who's on the show. But if you're new to this, my name is Mike Avery. I'm a broadcaster in Michigan. These days, hey, Paul, or hey, Philip, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Martin, nice to have you with us as well. Johnny's with us, my friend. Ross is with us. Terry, and I won't be here on my iPad. I won't be saying, well, although it's not too bad. I didn't want to knock the camera around, but Martin, Johnny, Bruce, Jim, Richard. Johnny, it's not going to be too much longer. We're going to find out who got the bear tags, right? I'm hoping. Teresa's with us on Twitter this morning. Nice. Got your dad's house cleaned out. Good morning, Larry. How are you? Jen, good morning. George Whitmire's with us as well. Eric. Hey, Jen, we're starting to put together some plans for our Wednesday night lives that I know you and Tim like to go to at Oscar and Joey's and the Lumberjack in West Branch. Can't wait for the 26th. Martin, I will tell you and Jim Boot right now that I'm struggling so far. I'll be on fish by the time you guys come and fish with me. But right now, good morning, Mad Jack. How are you? Nice to have you with us on YouTube. But I'm really, it's been an interesting season so far. Ross says, Johnny heading up to Mackinac a little bit on the bikes. Might have to come by and say hello. He passed away 2 months ago, age 99, a World War II veteran. Wow. I've been talking to Lance. It's interesting, Martin. I've been talking to Lance Valentine because I have been struggling. I've been reaching out and talking to my friends. And I talked to Lance Valentine, and he's got one way of fishing. Craig got 2 last night. Still tough fishing on the bay. Good morning, Mike. Are you still around fishing the bay, or are you back on the west side of the state? So I've been checking in with my friends. Listen, I'm not above taking all the help I can get right now until I get things figured out in this deeper water. It's funny because Lance is only concentrating on the fish up on top, and he's ignoring the fish on the bottom. I talked to my buddy Brad Dupuy of Apex Marine, Mr. Angler Quest himself, and he is ignoring the high fish and only concentrating on the fish on the bottom. Oh, Mike's going with Lance tomorrow. Excellent. I'm not fishing tomorrow. Tomorrow, I actually have an appointment with the oral surgeon. I got to be honest. I'm not really looking forward to it because I don't know what kind of shape I'm going to be in the rest of the day. It is my plan right now to fish on Friday. Yeah, Jim, you bring the luck. Steve, hey, good morning. How are things in Iowa? Steamy, I see, huh? Steve Noble will be joining Nick Percy and I later today for the Killer Food Plots podcast. Maybe soon to be the Plotting with Percy's podcast. Still working those details out. Anyway, my friends, hey, Randy, how are you? Randy's been doing well out there in the bay, too. Here's what my situation is. Let me set this up again. My name is Mike Avery. This is another live look behind the scenes here at the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I will tell you in just a minute who's coming up on this week's show. But here's the situation. I am an avid Saginaw Bay walleye angler, and I usually do pretty well out there. But I'm a guy who, for the last 25, 30 years, has concentrated on the skinny water, the shallow water. This year, that shallow water is absolutely devoid of fish because it's crystal clear. You can't fish 7 feet of water midday, have it be crystal clear, and expect to have walleye in there. So we have, my buddy Tony and I have finally come to the conclusion that skinny water just is not going to go, at least not for us this year. So I'm going to have to concentrate on the deeper water. And I'm not comfortable out there. I don't have the confidence. And I'm really learning. I'm not learning this now. I've known this all along. Think about all of our outdoor activities, the role that confidence plays. If you are confident in what you are doing and where you are doing it, whether it's hunting or fishing, things tend to go better and you have more success. Confidence breeds success. Confidence breeds more confidence. And when you're not, what made it clear? That's a good question, Bill. Is it the lack of runoff from the Saginaw Tittabawassee rivers because of the dams blowing out? Is it the lack of rain? There are several theories, but it looks like Traverse Bay, not Saginaw Bay. Ross, I'll tell you what, we actually did try crawlers. My buddy and Tony and I fished last Thursday, and I said, let's try the crawlers. Couldn't get those to go either. And that was up in shallow, up in skinny water. So that's when I decided, you know what, if even crawlers won't get fish going up in there, it's time for a change of plans. We'll go out deeper, fish deeper, and see what I can get going. I did fish Monday. It was very slow for me, but others out there were getting fish. Scott says the sheephead are terrible out there. We've only caught a couple sheephead so far. Leeches, Johnny. I did try crawlers. I'm not going to leeches. A pair of eagles not far from you in a farm field was so off. Jen, I was either leaving for an early morning walk or coming back from an early morning walk, and I had two eagles fly out of the sunrise over the pond behind the house. It was absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Tim says slow, steady river flow would, in his mind, make the clear water. Well, it's clear. I mean, it looks like Grand Traverse Bay. Again, it's not the Saginaw Bay that I have. Craig fished with crawlers last night, high and deep. Oh, Johnny, I've used leeches for walleye several times while jigging, but I've never used them for trolling. Oh, it was beautiful, Jen. Absolutely beautiful. Scott ended up with 8 fish. I tell you what, if I got 8 fish on a trip right now, this summer so far, I'd be a pretty happy guy. That's how slow it is for me. Not for everybody. Good morning, Brent. How are you? Not for everybody. Brad Dupuis was out there and said he could have. He said if he would have had a time, he could have caught 100 keeper fish. Randy says, "Yep, you can't be afraid of change. He'll fish with flickers, cranks, meat." I have tried so far this summer crawlers. Didn't like it, but I tried it because I was open to the possibility, if I had to, flicker shads and spoons. Yeah, and I don't like trolling spoons. I don't like trolling slow, Ross. Anyway, let me tell you who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week, because that's why I'm here in the studio. Corey checking in from Garden City. How are things there? We're starting out the show this week talking with Dave Mull about kayak fishing. Kayak fishing is extremely hot these days. Then Chad Stewart of the DNR. Chad is the big game specialist. What is the size of the fish here? Not been out yet. You're either going to get a bunch of really small 10, 11-inch fish, or they're going to be keepers. Randy says, I'll go with you. Going fishing today in Linwood from the shore. Good luck, Jen. Should be a warm one out there, right? Water being clear may also mess up the duck hunting. Really? Not being a duck hunter, I hadn't thought about that. The more things change, the more things stay the same, says Nat. Good with jigs, with minnow-type baits, Phil says. Chad Stewart from the DNR will be joining me on the show. We're going to talk about Michigan moose. We're going to talk about Michigan elk and primarily whitetail. Why all the doe tags? Any concern about EHD? You know, EHD on these, we got a dry summer so far. Last time we had a dry summer, we had a big outbreak of EHD. Is that a concern? And hour number 2, Randy Booty from Savage Dog Outdoors. I used to think of coyote hunting primarily as a wintertime activity. All right, Ross, Mike got to go heading to the bikes heading north. Hopefully see you tonight on here. Have a great day. You as well, my friend. But these guys, if you've seen here on the Facebook page, if you're watching on Facebook, the coyote hunters right now are doing very, very well. We'll talk to Randy about that. Then Jim Francis from the DNR talking about muskie fishing, about the muskie rearing pond, or not the muskie, the state's fish hatcheries. And in hour number 3, a guy that you guys love to have me on here on the show, Paul Phillips, extreme long range shooting expert, undeniably one of the best extreme long range shooters in the world. He has successfully hit targets at 4 miles. They're reaching out there to 5 miles now. And then wild game chef extraordinaire. Scott says he had great success pulling spoons on 3 colors Sunday. Crazy bite. Agree with Brad. Could have caught 50 fish. And it's interesting. Lance is fishing high, ignoring the low fish. Brad is fishing low, ignoring the high fish. I talked with Jeff Godey the other day. He was getting fish on 2 and 3 colors of lead with spoons over by the cigar. And Scott, we know why he was getting fish by the cigar. It seems like they're patchy, spotty. I was northeast of the Spark Plug, which is where Brad the day before was knocking the snot out of fish. We marked them top to bottom, but we couldn't get many of them to go. So I'll admit it. I'm struggling. It's a very, very interesting year for me. I've never had to worry about anything other than the shallow water. And I'm a pretty good skinny water walleye troller, but that water is just not fishable this year. So now I have to rethink my strategy. I have to relearn my way of fishing, and I have to get my confidence back, because right now I don't have any confidence. I'll tell you that right now. I don't have any confidence. So I need to spend more time out there. We were going to do a Wednesday night live tonight on the bay with Brad Dupuis. But we pushed that back to next week for 2 reasons. The weather forecast tonight, and I don't know if it's going to be true or not, called for some medium strong northeast winds, which would make it a little bumpy out there to try. All right, Philip, which would make it hard to try to shoot a Wednesday night live from the boat when it's bumpy. Also, Jason Wolverton of the Forward Corporation is going to join us, and Jason really is more available next week. I agree with you, Ed, that the high fish usually are the active fish. All right, Martin, have a good day at work. However, if you listen to Brad Dupuis, and I do because he's an excellent fisherman, he's blowing that theory out of the water. He is concentrating on those fish that are on the bottom, and he said he's catching more than he knows what to do with. Scott says he's running 3 colors. I didn't run 3 colors Monday. I did run 2 color. Never took a fish. It's just I got some bad mojo going right now, and I need to work my way through it. So Wednesday night live tonight, we will not be live on Saginaw Bay. I will be did our best over by H and A buoys. I fished A buoy. Yes, John, you did. I had a good tip about a week and a half ago. The A buoy was hot as a pistol, and I did go out by A buoy along with about 200 other boats because I guess the word got out. Couldn't get anything going. So we're not going to be live tonight on the bay. We will be live next week. Tonight I'll do Wednesday night live from my home studio again. Waiting on bear tags here in Michigan. We'll know when we get those in the next 3 weeks or so. I'm convinced that this year I will actually get an elk tag because for some reason I screwed up and applied for a cow tag. Although, talking with my buddy Tony while we're on the boat because the fishing's slow, so we have a lot of time to talk. He had always put in for a bull tag, never got a tag, put in for a cow tag, and then got a tag, which is what I think is going to happen to me. And he said the more he was thinking about it, he said, where would you put a big bull elk rack mount anyway? I don't have room in my house. My basement where my mounts are is absolutely full. I wouldn't know where to put it. So why not shoot a cow and fill the freezer with beautiful elk meat? Makes sense to me. Promo codes, outdoorpregame.com. You know I love the Wraith 270 see-through ground blind. Also really liking their new Breeze blind now. If you go to outdoorpregame.com, use the promo code Mike20, you can get a big discount on everything there. If you want a 25% discount on your MUCC membership, either a renewal or a first-time signing up, use the promo code Mike, all caps, M-I-K-E. And Michigan Brand, if you go to their website, michiganbrand.net, use the promo code Mike21. You can get a discount on everything on their website, and their new store locator is up and running. Build a new house. I think, Ed, the house that we're in is going to be the house that we're going to stay in till we're done here on this earth. Brad checking in from Breckenridge. Nice to have you along with us, Brad. Brad, good morning. Oh, what else is going on, my friends? Again, tomorrow I'm here in the studio today, recording the radio show, recording a Jay's Sporting Goods podcast. John Eberhardt is joining me on that podcast, by the way. And then doing a Killer Food Plots podcast, Wednesday Night Live tonight. Not fishing tomorrow. As I said, I have an appointment with the oral surgeon tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be doing much of anything tomorrow afternoon is my fear. And then hopefully fishing Friday. They're calling for east winds, I think, but not too strong. I need to get back out in that deeper water. Just spend some time out there. Experiment. Get my mojo back. Get my confidence back. And see if I can get some fish. Get some things going again. Because starting next week, like Jim Boots coming up to fish with me. I want to get Jim and his crew some fish. And I would just like to prove to myself again that I can do it. It's an interesting feeling for me to be in this mindset. It's these fish are doing numbers on my brain right now, to the point where I'll get off the water and say, I hate walleye. But I've also walked out of the woods and said, I hate turkeys. And I've also walked out of the woods and said, I hate bears. Scott says, I agree. I don't have time to mount my own elk, so a cow will do just fine. What's up with the surgery? I gotta get some things taken. It's just oral surgery, Richard. Just some. Gonna end up with a bridge on this tooth right here. I said, just don't leave me with a big, don't leave me with without that tooth. Actually, a few years ago, the first time the fake tooth fell out, I was here in the studio with Charlie Rood. Pat Johnson's here with me now, but I was here with Charlie. I was talking away, and my tooth fell out. And then I started to talk like this for the rest of the show because it's very weird. And thank goodness there was no camera on me then. Oh, so hey, listen, I've had 2 knees replaced. Everything else after that is gravy. If you need help figuring it out, let me know. Yeah, Brent, I'd love to get you out there. Absolutely, Brent. I would love to get you out there. In fact, let me. How are things looking for you Friday? And I'm just throwing that out there right now. We'll see if we can't do it Friday, we'll do it sometime soon. Okay. Yeah, I do want to get you out there. You're a great fishing partner. I enjoy your time, and maybe you will bring me some good mojo. Good morning, Jeff. How are you? You know what I did notice this morning? Jason did not check in from the Ford Dearborn truck plant, which is unusual. Jason, are you out there and I just didn't see you? Are you off on vacation this week? Maybe that's what it is. Who's doing the show, Pat? You or Charlie? Hey, Pat's doing the show. Excellent. Is that for real?
No.
Okay.
4 minutes, though.
Need to start singing here, fishy, fishy, here, fishy, fishy. I can tell you this, smoking cigars isn't the case. Usually in the past, if we had a lull in the action, I could light up a cigar, and that would attract the fish. Even that's not working for me this year. Do you think the turkeys I do. Craig says, do you think the turkeys have been talking to the walleye? Although the turkeys are in trouble next year because, Craig, as you and I talked about this, and I don't know if Bill Hoffman has heard me talk about this, Bill's going to take away my man card this fall when I hit the woods. It's going to be with a crossbow. I have loved that recurve. I enjoy the challenge so much. Although I wouldn't mind having just a couple of hunts early in the season, sitting in a ground blind over a food plot with that recurve, just so I can shoot a big doe, so I could say I've taken a whitetail with the recurve, and then I'm going to switch over to the crossbow. I need a bigger cigar. I like the Toros. I have been smoking too many cigars, though. I know that. I know that. I need to cut back on them, but I really enjoy them. Everybody's got their vice, right? Everybody's got something. So yeah, I think the turkeys have been talking to. I think the bears talk to the deer, and then the deer talk to the turkeys, and the turkeys talk to the walleye. Fired up for fishing. I love fishing. Again, going back to my buddy Tony, he says, listen, why don't you just come with me on a northern Michigan trout stream and we'll throw some crawlers. I like crawlers for trout. Get some waders, stand in the river, the Solitude, and go trout fishing. And I used to love trout fishing, but here's the deal. This is a challenge for me now. It's a challenge for me to get this new Saginaw Bay walleye fishery figured out. And it's something that I will keep at until I either run out of time or I figure it out. That's just the way my brain works. I've got a challenge here in front of me now, and I need to figure it out. Have you been practicing with that drone? You know what? Good point, Tim. Tim says, have you been practicing with that drone? Can't wait to see the vid of the Angler Quest on the bay. I have not been, Tim, and I've been so busy swapping out baits and lead links and lead core and jet divers and offshore tadpoles that I haven't even thought of taking a drone with me. I guess I always envisioned myself getting cool shots of the Angler Quest up in the skinny water. For some reason, I might be reluctant to take it out in the middle of the bay with a higher wind, although last time I was out there was no wind, so I don't know. But no, I have not shot any video with that of the Angler Quest, which was one of the reasons to get the drone in the first place, Tim. So thank you for the reminder. Good morning, Jim. How are things in Tennessee? All right, here in about 30 seconds, I'm going to have to start this week's Outdoor Mag. 15 seconds, Pat says. I'll start the radio show. I already gave you a rundown of who's going to be on the show. So here in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Take it from me. Crashing into the water only hurts for a few seconds. Thinking of buying a small Honda generator for the Quest and running box fans and the rocket launcher. The big. Good idea, Scott. All right, my friends, I'm going to switch focus from this microphone to this microphone. I'm not going to be able to answer your questions directly because I've got to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Airs on, 24 stations around the state, podcast available anywhere. If you get a chance, join me tonight, 7 o'clock, for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, try to stay cool. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. So glad to have you along with us as we continue our celebration of the outdoor lifestyle, the history and tradition of hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and all things fun, all things biologically sound, all things given authority by the DNR, the NRC, and God. How much more authority do you want than that? My name is Mike Avery, and I'm so glad to have you along with us. I look forward to this 3 hours every week here in front of this microphone, where we get a chance to really talk about what's going on in the outdoors, again, here in the great state of Michigan and occasionally beyond. Although my outdoor activities beyond Michigan have been somewhat limited because normally they would be, say, going up into Ontario or Quebec for a spring or summertime bear hunt. Does not look like that's going to happen at all. So I will be more than content. Although I do have an Ohio whitetail hunt coming up, which is something I haven't done in a long time. I haven't really been into whitetail hunting much at all lately. I haven't left the state for whitetail hunting in years and years and years, and I am looking forward to going down to Ohio. But what I'm doing right now is concentrating on Saginaw Bay walleye. It is no secret that I love to troll Saginaw Bay walleye. Listen, there's some great fishing across our state. There are many different species to pursue, many different waters, many different lakes, streams, great lakes to be out on. But I live close to Saginaw Bay. I have fished that fishery for more than 30 years. Well, I fished it since what? Since the walleye population rebounded years and years ago. I spend a lot of time out there, and I really do enjoy it. But I've got to be honest, I am struggling so far this summer. It's a really weird situation that I find myself in. I have never claimed to be an expert angler, never claimed to be an expert troller, never claimed to be an expert walleye fisherman, but I hold my own. And I catch more than my share of fish, and I have for many, many years. But the way that I've done it is to concentrate on what I call skinny water, shallow water. 9 feet of water or less is what I really like to fish. But that fishery, that part of the fishery, is not there this year. And I finally come to that conclusion, and I had to give up on it. The water up in there shallow is crystal clear, which is not the Saginaw Bay that I've known for 3 decades. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's different. And I have been forced to completely change the way that I fish, not without some struggle and not without trying to make that skinny water work. In fact, I was so desperate to try to get fish going in there up in shallow that I actually ran crawlers the other day. And you know how I feel about night crawlers. And if you're new to the show, look, just understand that my dislike for night crawlers is about 85% a joke. It's just something to talk about because it gets people riled up. But there is 15% of truth in there that I don't like them because I have to troll so slow. That's the main reason. I just don't want to troll that slow. I want to cover some water. But I was so... I don't want to use the word desperate, but I so badly wanted to turn that shallow water fishery on that I agreed to let my buddy Tony run some crawlers up in there the other day. And even that couldn't get anything going. And it was at that point, after spending a couple of days in there trolling plastic and not getting fish, that I realized, okay, this just isn't going to work this summer. It's time to try something different. It's time to go out to deeper water, which is where the fish are. And I do not have confidence in that deeper water because it's something that I don't normally fish. Now, when I say deeper water, I'm talking 24, 28 feet, which to you Lake Michigan anglers is like deeper water. You Lake Superior guys are going, deeper water? We get nervous in water that shallow, and I get it. But we all have our own frame of reference, right? And I think it comes down to when I'm fishing shallow water, I know where the fish are. There's a 6-foot column of water where I know those fish are. So it's easy to target them. You can go through there trolling number 7 flicker shads or good old-fashioned Hottentots, 20 to 50 feet behind the boards, and you're going to get fish, at least in the past. Not so this year. So if I go out to 27 feet of water, I have to decide, am I going to concentrate on the fish right on top? Am I going to target the fish 10 to 12 feet down? Am I going to go after those fish laying there on the bottom? You can see the big hooks down there. Are they going to go? So I've got that working on my mind. And so far, I just haven't been able to get the right combination. I've tried flicker shad. I've tried spoons. I've tried lead core. We've tried bouncing offshore tadpoles off the bottom. I've even switched over to jet divers instead of the offshore tadpoles to see if that would make a difference. I've tried trolling slower than I normally would. I've tried trolling faster than I normally would. I've gone out to different areas. I've tried different spots, different hot spots, and I just can't get it going. And it's I for the first time in many years, when I leave the dock with the Angler Quest, I am not confident that I'm going to get into fish. And it's a weird feeling for me. I look good while I'm out there because I'm trolling that big, beautiful Angler Quest with the radar arch and the rocket launcher and all kinds of rods. So I look like I know what I'm doing, but so far I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge that I accept. And that's the way my brain works with these things. I enjoy every minute in the woods or on the water. I have never equated catching fish or harvesting an animal with a quality experience. I've always said it's the experience that is the experience. It's not the catch or the harvest. But there is still a challenge here in my mind, because in my mind, I want to be able to figure this out. I want to be able to go out there and know that I've got a plan of attack, that I have a reasonable chance of putting some fish in the boat. Not so much for me, because I don't even eat fish, but for the people that are with me on the boat, on the Angler Quest. I want to catch them some fish. So stay tuned. This saga is not over yet. We had planned, I told you last week that we were going to do a Wednesday night live on the Facebook page of the YouTube channel and on Twitter, that we were going to be live on Saginaw Bay fishing with Brad Dupuis of Apex Marine. We postponed that until next week for a couple of reasons. The weather forecast called for some pretty decent northeast winds. It would make it just bumpy enough, even on the Angler Quest, that it would be hard to shoot a nice quality Wednesday night live program. Also, Jason Wolverton of the Forward Corporation, who is joining us, his schedule actually worked out better for next week. So look forward to that next week. Wednesday Night Live. We'll be out there on Saginaw Bay with one of the best big water walleye trollers that I know, Brad Dupuis of Angler Quest. We'll get that done. I'm still waiting on bear tags, as are you. Waiting on elk tags here in Michigan, as are you. We should know the results on that early in July. I'm cautiously optimistic on that bear tag. And I'm absolutely convinced for the first time in my life that I'm going to get a Michigan elk tag. And why is that? Because for the first time in my life, I actually applied for a cow tag. I'm not quite sure why I applied for a cow tag, because forever I've said if I'm going to hunt a Michigan elk, I want it to be a bull. And for some reason, I got distracted. I was thinking about something else. I said, yeah, I'll just apply for a cow tag. And I'll bet you anything, if I ever am going to get a Michigan elk license, it's going to be this year, because I applied for a cow tag. But in thinking about it, where would I put a bull elk mount anyway? I don't have room for it. So why not just fill the freezer with great tasting cow elk meat? So maybe it'll all work out for the best. You know what? Things always do work out for the best, don't they? My grandpa told me, he said, he said, don't worry about it. Things always work out. And in my life, things have, for the most part, always worked out. You might not think it was for the better at the time, but things have always worked out. So maybe that's the way I need to approach my Saginaw Bay walleye fishing this summer. Stick with it. Don't get too worked up about it. Don't let it bother you too much. Just keep experimenting. Keep out there on the water. Keep enjoying the experience, and things will work out. Thank you, Grandpa. I appreciate that. I'm going to do that. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show after the break, Dave Mull, the Coyote King, the Kayak Master, the Yak Master, talking about, I'm getting ahead of myself here, the Yak Master talking about fishing out of kayaks. Chad Stewart from the DNR, got some questions for him about Michigan moose, Michigan elk, and also Michigan whitetails. And then in hour number 2, the Coyote King, Randy Booty of Savage Dog Outdoors. I thought coyote hunting was just for the wintertime. No, these guys are out there now, and they're doing a very, very good job. Jim Francis from the DNR talking about muskies and our state hatchery program. And in hour number 3, one of the best extreme long-range shooters in the world. He's a Michigan guy. His name is Paul Phillips. They're now trying to shoot at 5 miles. Then wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner wraps it all up. That's this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, have a good day. You know, you don't even have to listen to the first segment of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show because you just watched it. All right, 7 o'clock tonight, Wednesday Night Live. I'll talk to you once again. I'll see if we can't line something up to give something away so I can do my buzzer, because I know you look forward to that. In the meantime, have a great day, my friends. Try to stay cool.